With more than a half of its term in office complete, the Christie cabinet bids farewell to one of its ministers. I'm Clint Watson. The story's ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
Could a national lottery be an eventual reality?
And find out if the World Relay's baton is leaving the country. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The cabinet post of Minister for Financial Services is now vacant following the resignation of the Honorable Ryan Pinder. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kendino Knowles.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. The news came in a statement from the Cabinet Office in which it was indicated that Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie accepted the resignation.
Clint Watson spoke with Pinder today and tells us that the former minister will be taking up a senior executive position with a major bank.
The resignation of the Minister of Financial Services, Ryan Pinder, takes effect at the end of this year. Minister Pinder says his decision did not come easy, neither did it catch the Prime Minister off guard.
I put everything I had into doing my job, into supporting the government and making the Bahamas a better place to be as a cabinet minister. And I tried very hard to accomplish the goals that were in place. And it's a personal decision. It's one of those opportunities that are very rare and once in a lifetime type of opportunities. It's a decision that I struggled with, to be honest with you. I had counsel with the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister about the issue, and made what I thought was the right decision for me, for my family, for my career.
The minister says he remains fully in support of the government and the Progressive Liberal Party.
It's no indictment on the government. I told the Prime Minister I completely support the government of the Bahamas. In fact, the Prime Minister knew about my resignation when he invited me to go to Cuba and support him at a heads of government meeting. So there's that bond, there's that commitment. I have pledged my utmost commitment to him and to the government of the Bahamas to help in any way I could. I will lead from the backbench in support of the Prime Minister and the government, and in support of the decisions that we made as a cabinet and the executive of the country.
At the age of 40, he's the youngest minister serving in the cabinet at this time, and he offered this advice for his successor.
To be industry sensitive and not to be fearful of engaging in the international community. It's needed, and it's needed with a very reasoned and authoritative position.
Ryan Pinder is satisfied with what the industry has achieved, noting that if he was not comfortable, then he would not have moved on.
We accomplished a lot in 2.5 years, very fundamental reforms that were needed for the way forward. I think the industry and the country is positioned for growth in this certainly volatile environment, but I think we did accomplish a lot of things, especially on the international level, which are very important.
Meantime, Minister Pinder says as an MP, he will continue to work in his Elizabeth constituency. As for whether he's willing to serve again in the cabinet, he reminds us that politics is unpredictable and anything is possible. The Prime Minister in a statement said that Mr. Pinder had proven himself to be a public servant of extraordinary ability, energy and dedication, an outstanding minister in every way, as well as a dear colleague and valued friend. Mr. Christie said Pinder has accomplished much for the financial services industry in a comparatively short period of time, and for that he commends him wholeheartedly. Mr. Christie regrets losing Pinder in the cabinet, but understands the opportunity that he has been presented with is a magnificent one.
No word on a replacement as yet, but we're told Prime Minister Christie will be announcing a new appointment in short order. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Through government assistance, the Bank of the Bahamas has reserved tens of millions of dollars in loan losses. The Minister of State for Finance made the announcement in Parliament this afternoon. Carla Palmer was there.
State for Finance, the Honorable Michael Alcides, says while domestic banks throughout the country were challenged due to the spillover from the prolonged softness in the global economy, the Bank of the Bahamas, being the People's Bank, he says, the government acted responsibly.
In October, we acted on the balance sheet restructuring, establishing Bahamas Resolve Limited as a government-owned vehicle. Resolve purchased $100 million in commercial loans off the Bank of the Bahamas' balance sheet. And for Resolve, Mr. Speaker, the mandate is that it must operate at arm's length from the government and go out and collect the loans that it has acquired.
Collection and management of the Resolve portfolio is contracted to the accounting firm Deloitte & Touche, with Resolve being headed by former Central Bank Governor James Smith.
With the almost singular purpose of Resolve, we are convinced that it will be successful at collections.
With $100 million in debt up to June 2014 to stop the losses, Minister Halkitis says the government ensured that the financial institution had ample liquidity, placing deposits in the bank amounting to $43 million.
We also assisted as the major shareholder with the payment of a preference share dividend of $1.1 million. This approach was also endorsed by the Central Bank of the Bahamas in view of the recapitalization needs which were evident at the time.
According to Minister Halkitis, the government has been able to reverse up to $49 million in loan losses in assisting the Bank of the Bahamas. I'm Carla Palmer for ZNS Network News.
In other news, some 1,000 line staffers at the Bahamas Electricity Corporation finally about to reap the benefits of a new industrial agreement totaling millions of dollars. This is Labor Minister Shane Gibson and senior officials up at BEC signed a retroactive agreement with executives of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union that will last until 2018. The concessions under the contract, which was being negotiated since early last year, include a lump sum payment of up to $3,200 as well as Christmas bonuses. Noticeably absent from today's signing was BEC Chairman Leslie Miller, who says he's opposed to some of the terms and conditions of the new contract. One such condition was the continued funding for the employee medical insurance and pension plan, the entire cost of which BEC covers. Under the new agreement, existing employees will maintain their medical insurance and pension plans, while new hires will have to contribute to the medical plan at a rate of 30%. Obviously satisfied with today's signing was the Labor Minister, as well as BEWU President Paul Maynard.
And things got testy at times, but we was able to put it through. It's not everything we wanted. We, as the minister said, we're in times that are pretty dim around here at BEC. We expect that they will get better. They have to get better. We expect they will. They have to get better because they can't continue to go on like this.
And so all of those things that would have happened in the past, bygones be bygones. We have a corporation to run. We have a Bahamas to supply electricity to do. We look forward to everybody working amicably and trying to get what is best for the consumer. And so once again, I thank all of you for participating.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Shell Quality Fuels.